Hello and welcome to New India Abroad. As more Indian Americans step into the public office across the United States, we are seeing a new generation of leaders bringing their experiences as immigrants, entrepreneurs, and community builders into local government. One such leader is Reena Gupta. From building successful businesses and helping women return to the workforce to now stepping into electoral politics, Reena has spent years serving her community in different ways. The Indian American entrepreneur, nonprofit founder, and community leader is now running for District 3 seat on the Pleasanton City Council in California. Today, we'll talk about her journey from India to the United States and what inspired her to enter the public service and her vision for Pleasanton City. Ms. Gupta, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to have you with us.
Pleasure is all mine, Malvika. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so to begin with, you grew up in a large joint family in India before immigrating to the United States. What are your earliest memories of India, and how did those experiences shape the that you've become today?
Well, I think my childhood is something that I think I'm very blessed to have. Um, when we look at the problems right now, the biggest problem that the whole world is facing is loneliness. And my childhood was nothing close to that at all. We grew up in we call it as the multi-generational family. And that multi-generational family had my family with two of my brothers, my mom and dad, and my grandma, along with three other families who were my dad's brothers. And among all of us, think about we had 21 cousins. We had four families, uncle and aunts, including us, and three set of grandparents. So imagine living in a place where there's nothing called me. There's no, you don't have a place of your own. You don't have uh, I would say even the way the whole household was structured is we are always seeing each other. It's not even that you're living in one building and you're not interacting. It's like the moment there was not a single me time. There was no concept of it, right? There was no concept of saying that. I mean, the day I was born, it was shared meal, shared decisions, shared arguments. But what it made me realize that no matter how different we are, no matter how much disagreements we have, at the end, we all can live together if we know and respect each other's opinions and feelings, right? And there were certain things like being in a multi-generational family, which is unfortunately is not that common in India as well now. Uh, but that has taught me what is the value of learning from each other, sharing with each other, caring for each other, uh, and celebrating with each other, right? So imagine celebrating Holi, Diwali. You really don't need the whole thing. The whole house itself is a big community. So we had a like again. I wish everyone can get that experience of living together. And sharing and caring with each other. That's one of the biggest thing that I would say I miss about India. Uh, and sadly, I miss that even India is losing that fabric of society.
That is true. So, when you did move to the United States, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced as a new immigrant?
Well, I would say it wasn't a challenge. I always look into it as a new opportunity. So while I'm saying that my family, we grew up, we had a great time, but Um, one of the things that my family did not allow me to do is think about a career. You can study, you can do all those things, but do whatever your husband's family will ask you to do in terms of career and working, right? And then I got married into a family which was in real world terms more like a nuclear family and but very progressive on that area. And coming from a family both in a social fabric and mindset, everything was completely opposite to where I got married. So here, my mom tells me, "Oh, You can study, just do what your husband tells. And my husband says, why did you study so much when you were not even thinking about a career? So that is, I felt, is a biggest shift that brought me into this position where I am. Very blessed to have a family support, or from both sides, right? Like my mom and my parents are happy that my in-laws family is supporting. My in-laws family is happy that they are able to support all that. So I'm very blessed in that. And coming to US, that whole opportunity opened up. Something I felt like uh, always wanted to do, but never had an opportunity. So rather than looking into as a challenge of coming into US, I saw that as a land of opportunity. That's where your dreams come true. And here I have a person who is like 100% champion for what I can be. So I think I wouldn't call it as any challenges I faced. In fact, I was very lucky as soon as I came here, applied for a job, I got a job, I got visa, everything was felt like step meant to be. So I still feel like my journey into US was a dream come true.
So in that, now that you said about your dream come true, and you've also said that uh, you've talked about the American dream, which now seems to be fading away for many people. So how has that evolved over the years, that the American dream that you came with, and what is your take on that?
So I have been a technology entrepreneur. I started my companies from Nashville, Tennessee, which was not a place people know in that age as a technology hub. And I opened an outsourced company in India in 2004. Okay. The times have changed drastically. And it's not about people don't have American dream. The dream is there, but where it is getting fulfilled is the question. Right now, the opportunities like that is available everywhere. Right, this interview that we are having right now, because of technology, it doesn't matter. You're in India, you're staying with your family, you're staying, having all the perks of being in India, but you are getting the opportunities here. And you now only, not in the US, but globally, right? So the location does not matter. Now it's the comfort and the decision factors. And what are the pros and cons? Obviously, um, if you're in US, a little different opportunities come up, but there are different challenges also, right? So it is individual who decide what works for them and what is their dream and how they want to pursue it. Most of the people who came during our generation, most, when I say most, even the people in our generation are deciding to go back for their own reasons, right? Because they feel that whatever they want to achieve in their career or their financial dream or aspirations, they can still achieve it from there. Sometimes, and opportunities in other countries are like they are in the developing age, right? So they are seeing a lot more opportunities to bring the innovation and things. So while US has been the place where people can dream and it makes it, I still feel US makes things easier for whatever reason, or maybe my brain is tuned. I really think that people, if you look into some of the people who have been very successful here, may or may not be possible in other countries because of the many factors. I mean, think about, and I'm going to go completely tangent here. Think about simple things like weather, traffic, right? By the time you go in a place and city which is crowded, you're stuck in traffic for 2 hours. Not that many cities here are also like that, but the ability to spend that energy of 2 hours in traffic versus 2 hours productively in your it can change the dynamics of your success. So it is not only just how much you're earning, it's all your quality of life, how much you're able to spend time with families. I personally feel that still the environment in US may be a biased opinion, but there is a lot of other factors that it makes um, achieving your aspiration much easier.
So now talking about politics, You have founded companies, but what was that one moment that convinced you that you should run for the public office?
A very good question. So I have, as a person, talking about my childhood, right? My childhood is all about making sure wherever we live happily, we learn to live and take care of each other and enjoy, celebrate all those things. So when I came to Nashville, I did miss that community aspect of it. So, not knowing what to do. And I have always been serving mindset, right? So, I came in Nashville, Tennessee. We didn't know many people say, let's go to the temple. So, when we went to the temple, with my software background, I looked into and I was like, how do you run your software for the temple? And they said, we are doing it like this. I said, let me help you write that. So that's how I started doing my volunteer work in the community, making friends and being part of a bigger community. So I still have a lot of things that we got involved from the community perspective. When I came to California from Tennessee, same thing, like in the same, wherever it's like, where can I go? So I got involved with many, many, many volunteer opportunities. Of course, running my companies is always opens up a different thing, but the fulfillment that you get by serving the place and making a difference in someone's life, it's like a ad that no money can buy that. So that's it is. So I had that the serving mindset from the very beginning, right? Now, coming to why I decided on this is no matter how much you serve as a volunteer, there is a time that you feel that if you had a seat at the table, there is a bigger impact you can bring. And city council is a position where not many people realize that the decisions that are made in that city hall are the closest decisions, are the closest things that is affecting your daily life. And more, I have been helping. I served as the Economic Vitality Committee member for 4 years with the city. I realized that how important it is to have a mindset for the city. It's like city should be creating an environment for the residents to be happy, feeling connected, uh, and the economic um, uh, incentives and the economic pipeline for the city helps city provide the services to its residents, right? So I come from a background where I know how to create new opportunities. I come from a background for knowing how to grow things from scratch. Uh, and now I also have this community background for being serving in the city. Uh, so in the month of first week of June, I realized that maybe it's time that I can bring it all together and serve. And the honor of serving the city in that capacity is something I really wanted to give that. Like, I mean, again, there comes in this stage of life that you feel like the country has given you so much, the city has given you so much. How can you say thank you, right? That is one of the things I feel is important. And all of us, no matter who they are, they can all serve in their own capacity. And I'm feeling super blessed. I can't tell you the experience that I'm getting in just reaching out to the community members of all types, all demographics, understanding uh, what the gap is. Like currently the environment is so divisive, but ultimately we are all humans. We all want to live in peace. I'm also part of something called Pleasanton Connects. It is a volunteer group that selected 30 people in the city from all different backgrounds. And in fact, one of my decision to run is after being part of that group and listening with them, working with them, you just realize that how much we align with each other, how much we are behind this all the clutter that is in our mindset, all the clutter that is in our fed to us, we are still human beings. We are still want to live happily. We still want to respect each other, and we are not very different from each other. No matter what your belief is, no matter what it is, right? So I think this is one place which I think can help me bring that impact. And that's the reason I am coming in and deciding to run this for this office.
Okay, very well said. So you talked about community, and you're entering the race at a time when more and more Indian Americans are seeking local office. So do
Mhm.
you see yourself as a part of a larger movement? And like, what's your take on Indian Americans coming into the local office?
So, I think it's an opportunity that is presented to us. Our previous generations who came here, they did a phenomenal job of opening the opportunity, showing us the path. And interestingly, I would say that I I work a lot with the youth, specifically high school students. I'm also part of my school district career technical advisory board. I see that the youth commission in the cities are full of, I would say 50% are Indian American kids. I see a lot of next generation of youth are more interested in serving in terms of doing something extra, because we as parents, when we came, we were still building our life. We were still building our own identity here, right? Now, when I look at my own kids, my other kids, like right now, my campaign is literally being run by a lot of youth volunteers, right? So they are so keen on um, going beyond thinking about just about their paycheck. They want to serve the community. They are born and brought up here. Okay. So I think our generation can also act as the bridge for the next generation. If they see, like right now, I'm literally mentoring some kids who aspire to be in the political side, right? So I feel very confident that this movement, that you calling it as a movement, I think it's a natural progression, because uh, no matter how much we want to serve, you want to make sure that you are fed well, your family is fed well, you're in a comfort zone. That's a human thing. You want to take care of your own needs. Just like when you go to a flight, you put your own mask first, and then you are able to help others. So I think our generation, the previous generation, has shown us what can be done in terms of the career aspiration, in terms of building. Now I feel it's our responsibility to pave that path for the next generation, so that they can also come in and serve the community, where most of the next generation are born and brought up here. They need to see that as their role models as well. And I think our generation is picking up, our generation is doing a good job in their own capacity. And I hope we can serve as the role model for them as well. I see next generation to be a lot more um aware and a lot more interested and a lot more capable than our generation, who are still figuring things out in this field.
So did you receive any significant backing from any Indian American leaders or community?
Well, it's a very loaded question, I would say. Uh, I do know quite a bit in the leadership, I know, but my focus is to get a lot of support from the residents themselves. So my whole campaign is resident first. So I've literally and this whole thing came in the system that we have built. You will see most of the candidates campaigning, vote for me, vote for me. This is what I can do. But I started with the campaign of listening and said, tell
Yeah.
me what you like to do. What is your vision of Pleasanton? And by the way, do you even know what's happening in the city hall? It's unfortunate that more than 95% of the people, very few, very handful of people tell me that, yeah, they know or they care. Nobody even know what's being discussed. So my campaign is all about civic engagement, right? So that whether I'm getting the support from or not, if I reach out to most of them, of course, if not anything financial, I get a lot of advice, and not only from Indian leaders, I get it from anyone and everyone. So I said, like, I am very blessed to be part of a community fabric where it doesn't matter how and someone looks, things. If I go and ask for advice, help, everybody's opening the door. And I think it's and I do want to say one more thing. When I started thinking of it, I got a few statements saying, "Hey, Indians don't stick together. They won't support." Uh, and I found it completely opposite. I found that many people are stepping up and asking, like, the help that I'm getting from people I don't even know. They say, "I heard that you're running. Um, how can I help?" So I think it's time to break that myth as well, saying that Indian Americans don't, or Indians in general, don't stick with each other. They don't are not happy with everyone's success. I think this is again a myth that is being fed to people, uh, and until and unless you make them feel inclusive, you care about them. Um, and it's a human tendency, not only Indian Americans or Indians in general, but I think we need to have that mindset that we stick for each other, not only for each other, stick for the values that makes the place that you are staying, living, growing your kids and family. So I think I'm very uh, blessed. Blessed is the only term that I can say. I'm very blessed to get that support, not only from Indians, but from everyone.
Okay. So, if elected, what would be your top three priorities during the first year of the city council?
Well, one of the challenges the city is facing right now is fiscal budget and some certain things around it. So, my first and most important thing that my eyes are focused and looking into it, how can we generate some new revenue? Pleasanton as a city has a lot of assets, which the term I use is can be activated. Uh, Pleasanton needs a person who can be an advocate, who can be, in general term, a salesperson for Pleasanton to go back and invite companies to come here, invite new families to come here, invite tourists to come here and think Pleasanton as a destination so they can come in, they spend money. Because every time somebody have a coffee or a meal or buy something, it adds revenue to the city. So my first and most important goal is how can we increase the revenue for the city? That's very important. And it's not just a first year goal, it is going to be the pillar that I'm standing for. I go back and say that we need to think about how we can increase the tax base, not the tax rate. Nobody wants to increase the tax rate, and I'm for it as long as we know how to activate the assets. Then there are certain other things that we have, of course, not only just inviting the families, but if you're inviting families, how can we make it the city more vibrant? So the communities needs to align with each other. Communities need to know how to fun and celebrate. So that's making the communities more vibrant and building a stronger economy is the tagline for my campaign. And also in terms of other things like clean water, safety, all these things are the reasons people move to a city. Pleasanton is very blessed to have a space with, or a city with 46 parks. Not many, it's a small city, but 46 parks. Every place that you go to, it's a nice place to live. People are nice with each other. So we want to make sure that the safety is there, all those details. But most importantly, the two very important things is the making the economy thrive so that the city can have the money to serve the residents as well as have the vibrancy in the community that people like to, and for each age group. So our downtown is considered very historic. We want to maintain the character of downtown, but make it more vibrant, right? Have more events, have more foot traffic, have more people come and enjoy. We have one of the most popular dairy in California. So the selling Pleasanton as a destination for tourism, as a destination for business, as a destination for living is is my key pillar.
Okay. So you talked about all of this, but how there's a huge debate about it. So how will you balance all these priorities while preserving the city's character?
Well, I don't know which debate you're talking about, so if you can share a little bit. Pleasanton historically has been able to maintain a good balance, right? But there are still opportunities. Like, for example, the character of Pleasanton has a lot to do with our downtown. Not many cities have such an, I would say, nostalgic, historical downtown there. So we don't want to do anything that will take away that character. But there are other areas in Pleasanton that you can bring the growth in, that you can do, make it more welcoming. Make it so if you enter Pleasanton in one side, it will look a little bit more upscale and all. If you enter Pleasanton from the other side, it doesn't feel that way, right? So how can we bring those elements? Like you should, when you go to a city, it should feel that you are living like a local and enjoying that and getting the taste of that city. And I travel quite a bit. So one of the things I personally look for is like when I go to a city, what am I learning there? What am I exploring there? What am I actually not just going to the touristy places? So Pleasanton has a lot of those characteristics. And I think it should be preserved. But I go back, it's like not just making it historical preservation, but also having a way to go back and say Pleasanton has areas where you can have see the upscale things, you can see other ways to enjoy, not just one side of the character. So maintaining that balance, and Pleasanton has a lot of opportunities. That's all I can say.
Okay. So how should Pleasanton prepare for future challenges such as climate resilience, water scarcity, AI-driven workforce changes, economic growth for the
Yeah.
future?
So as I said, like Pleasanton is, um, I would say, a city with very talented workforce, which means the talented workforce brings a lot of prosperity. And in terms of, and we also have, I'm personally uh, AI workforce readiness champion. I do that for my mom Relaunch Foundation. I work with the Tri Valley Career Center to make their workforce. One of the things, again, if you look into my campaign, there is one specific line called Future Ready Workforce. Okay. So the water challenges that Pleasanton faces has to do with something called PFAS. And there are steps to take, and it is being discussed on how to work with Zone 7 water, along with creating our own wells to do that. So water challenges are being discussed on its own. Uh, Future ready workforce, as I said, like we are blessed to have a talented workforce, which doesn't require very fundamental. Of course, there's percentage wise, we are in a much better shape. But the way things are changing, the way things are evolving in technology itself, nobody can say that I'm safe, right? So how do you stay a step ahead is what I do in my daily life. So for me, it's I can do that in my sleep because that's all I do, right? I do that. I train people how to be a step ahead of the game and how to utilize these technologies to fulfill their aspiration. And I'm going to share something is like I do use AI quite a bit and understanding some of the issues, understanding what the analysis and all. If I had to do the same thing without those technologies, it would have taken a lot of time for me to go through a 500 pages and 5 hours of videos, this and that. But due to technology, I'm able to have an aspiration that I can grow in my career as in the political field. And that's the what everybody needs to understand is like taking this technology for how to amplify. In fact, my other company that I'm launching, it's called My Work Life. And the tagline itself is amplify yourself. So you need to understand what are your areas of development, where are you missing, and how can technology help you with that. The day you understand that, you will be able to be 10 steps ahead of the curve.
Okay. So moving on, let's talk about your businesses. You've built successful businesses. So how has entrepreneurship prepared you for governing a city?
Oh my God. I think that is the most important aspect I bring in, um, because entrepreneurship boils down to one word, okay, or two words here. It's problem solving. If you think about, every entrepreneur is there to solve a problem, and while they're solving a problem, they're also making money. And if you put the same lens on the government side, right? Uh, like when I came to this campaign, I say, how should I campaign it? And I'm looking at it and I feel like, what's in it for the residents? What's in it for, why would anybody vote for me? Right. And that's the problem I discovered. I discovered that residents are not even getting chance, or not even understanding what's happening. So what I do is, the first thing is, as part of my campaign, I solve the problem first, engage the residents, because we are now have a collective mind, like saying, oh, how can we utilize this space? The people in City Hall have their own perspective, city staff has their own perspective. But what if you bring the collective mind of the experts from the city, and they can come in and say, oh, by the way, I think this business will look good, and I have this connection I can bring in, I can go be a champion. So making everyone as the champion in the city, only entrepreneurs can do that. And I think entrepreneurs have that leverage, because, uh, the definition I also go back and talk about the entrepreneurs is, not only they dream and in their own vision, but they also enable and motivate and inspire for others to dream in their vision, and they participate. That's why they join their companies. That's why they become part of it, right? And imagine if you're able to bring that mindset to the residents. Say, you don't have to be on the council seat to bring that reference for that business, or suggest your family, a friend to come and move here. All you have to do is bring that visionary mindset in every resident, right? And that's very important skill I bring to the table as an entrepreneur. And another thing that I'm doing is creating a concept of a human library. As a um, city, we all have people who are experts in something, and there are people who are ready to learn. So just like you have city has a library, each human can have what we call as the human brain, who are they're ready to share. Just don't they don't know how people don't know how to reach out to them, right? And in fact, uh, my company that I created, my work life, which is built under Wisdosity, which means wisdom city. This is the concept that I had on that itself. So, but not all experts have the time to mentor or anything. So I came from the perspective of, in my business, to create digital avatars of people and experts. So I have created my own digital avatar. Now moms learn from my digital avatar. I don't have to spend the same time and give. So that's scalable. So the same thing I'm bringing to the city, as calling it as human library, but not in the digital form, but it's human interaction, learning from the experts who know how to deal with the cleaning of the water, for example. I can book a time with them and learn from them, right? Or anybody who wants to know how to run for an office, they can go back and book a time from someone else, or for whatever it is. So these are the things we want to, as an initiative, I want to bring to the city as my entrepreneurial side of it.
Okay. Um, your idea is really great. So now,
Thank you.
talking about Mom Relaunch Foundation, what was the idea behind it? What inspired you, and what are those experiences that taught you about the barriers that women continue to face in everyday life?
Well, barriers list are endless, but let's go back and say that women have the opportunity as well as the uh, with technology also as well, along with the uh, aspiration that women are having nowadays. All those things are available, but there are certain challenges specifically, especially for women who are migrating to US because we are based in US and for now so far, and we are keeping it that way for some time. But there are, especially when women have kids, right? It's nothing that anyone can do to change that. And I go back and say, until unless men start giving birth, this problem is going to be there, right? And I don't want to even state it as a problem because having a child is one of the best thing anyone can ask for. It's a different thing, but it takes a toll. It takes a toll on the body. It takes a toll on your everything. It just changes a person. It changes a woman inside out, right? That is the time that we have seen a lot of women taking break, uh, and they feel that they will go back in 6 months or a year and all. They come back, they are not the same person. They still feel stressed out. They may come back and then take break again. So that's one challenge that we are seeing. The second challenge, specifically for Indian American women, or as a matter of fact, any immigrant, when they come to this country, they might be majority of the people in our program or women in our program are, we call them as trailing spouses. They come here because, and they, some of them have even left their career behind. They come here, they don't have work visa and they don't know what to do, and they have kids. They, by the time that few months become few years, and then they realize where the time has gone, right? So these two are the big things that I've seen in terms of this. However, the story that happened and my inspiration of what caused me to start this is when I started my own company in 2002. I started my company right after my child was born, and that is the time when people leave, as I said. And I thought, like, if I leave now, it will be very difficult to come back and build that, whatever I have built so far. So I decided to start my own company rather than taking a step back. And that taught me that if given a little bit of more flexibility, now as a company, I had my own challenges. I wouldn't say that it was an easy path, but flexibility is the key in this program that we are bringing in, right? The flexibility, work from home, all those things are part of it, right? Now, and technology, sticking to technology made us easier to bring women back into this field. However, if you think about what really helped is the mindset that I I don't want to give up my career. I can somehow bring harmony between my family life and my career. It's not easy. And I'm talking about 2002, right? It was not that easy as well. So that happened. And then the second thing that was is the first employee that I hired was a stay-at-home mom. Same story. She came, had a kid, she was working, she took a break, and both our kids used to play together. We became friends, and told her, like, hey, if I train you to do a little bit of my job, are you interested in? And she said, yeah. And I kept training her behind the scene, gave her a bunch of my work to do, and she was doing it. And when I felt she was ready, I brought her to my client and say, instead of me doing it, let her do that work. So think about what I did. I did is looked into the person who's capable, looked into the fact that she's ready to learn, looked into fact that given a little bit of hands-on training before bringing to the client or bringing, that gave her the confidence. And my mom relaunch is literally built on that foundation. So those two things are the reason decided to stay. And I've been helping before starting as a foundation, a lot of women, just as a friend, and bringing them as a referring them and all that. But when I sold my company, I said I want to do something this as a platform. And so I decided to create this, and very specifically in one industry, very specifically kept it very small for, like, I just wanted to have it as a something to give back, not like, so this is, we never raised grants or donations. We make it sustainable. We have launched over 250 women, not an easy feat, is, and giving them a platform where they can learn and have the real work experience is the thing that we have built. Uh, and bringing them a community of moms, bringing them the confidence. So that is our platform. Now we are taking it to a level of making every mom AI ready. So irrespective of whatever career path you are in, you can learn how to use AI to amplify yourself. That's where we are now.
Okay.
We also got
So,
certified partner as by Anthropic, so we are part of their. So that's our focus now.
okay, okay. So you've served on the Economic Vitality Commission, school advisory
Committee.
boards, and several
Mhm.
community organization. So, which experience has best prepared you for the elected office?
I would say the PUSD advisory board, because it gave me an opportunity to work with the next generation to understand where they are. And next, serving the next generation is a big part of the board. My aspiration in general. Economic Vitality Committee gave me how the city works and what are the economic opportunities that we are going to bring in. Plus, I also went through a 10-week program called Leadership Pleasanton. I think that best prepared me for this program because I did that in 2023. And understanding from how um, uh, the police and fire works to how the city finances work to what are the city facilities, everything about the city, we went through that program. So, learning wise, Pleasanton leadership was the foundation. Working with economic vitality showed me that if we have the right champion for the city, it will be a different story. Working with the school career advisory board was focus on what students are struggling with and what career path they should look into it. And my recent one with the Pleasanton Connects is like, it has really confirmed my um thought that if we bring in the right people in the room, we can come up with we can create that environment. We can create that city that we all want to live and thrive in. So everything has different learnings, I guess.
Yeah, true. So you've talked about helping in the Diwali celebrations. So how important do you think is cultural representation in strengthening the civic life and building a more inclusive community?
Absolutely, 1000%. 1000% is, I would say, because if you look into the way I celebrated Diwali also, so most of the
Mhm.
time, if you look into our community celebrating these festivals, they go to a community hall, they just find it. You will see a lot of people who look like us. When I decided to do Diwali, I went to museum in the city, and I said, can we have a program where we can invite every one, specifically little kids, to make those lamps, like so the diyas. So 3 weeks we did that little, and the museum provided everything. Then there's a small book store. We said, can we have a book reading? Why we celebrate this? What is the story behind it? What is the real meaning of Diwali? What is the good over evil, right? All those things. So we had people who were creating and reading stories. Then we picked up a date when the uh, our main street in downtown was supposed to be closed. We took an hour in that time. and we lighted all the diyas that were made during the from the museum on the streets of downtown. We had like a little Bollywood presentation, like very small. It's like 1 hour. We lighted. We had all the dignitaries coming in. Feeling that you are part of it is very important. So if you do celebrate anything in the corner and nobody knows and sees, then they're not curious what's happening. If they are curious, they will come back and say, "Hey, can I come and join? Or can you tell me if you're doing this again next time?" Right? So a lot of those things comes in when you see, make it available for people to see, not just ask them to find for that information. So make it available, make it inclusive, invite them to know, uh, invite them to learn what's happening in different cultures, and you also be part of their culture. That is also very critical.
Okay. So, do you have any ambition beyond the city councils, just running for mayor or higher office? And why should District 3 choose voters choose you over other candidates?
Yeah. So aspirations, I don't have any comment on this, is because I take one step at a time. I don't even know the this is I'm coming with a lot of optimism. I'm coming with the fact that I think I can make the difference and the impact that I'm looking for. So I want to serve, get that experience to understand. There's one thing to be an outsider and think you can do everything and this and that. There's another thing to be part of that office and know what is doable and what is not doable, get into the details, and then decide what the next step is. So I am happy to keep my aspiration right now with the district city council. Right now, I won't be able to make that answer. Why they should choose me is because what that is what Pleasanton needs right now. Pleasanton does not need another candidate who is just looking into policies and things like that, or have the other experience, which is I s- talk about beating the dead horse. What we need is the innovation. What we need to see is how do we activate? We need to bring in the creative mindset. We need to bring in the collective energy and the engagement. And that those things I feel I'm very well suited. Um, and the experience that I have working from all aspects, it's very unique. Not trying to brag here, but I personally don't see a person who can stand in the global business uh, stage and say, "Hey, Pleasanton is open for business," or go and enjoy with the community and create these events and go and work with the students to go back and say, "This is how you should think about your future," and go to the person who are struggling with their mid-career or just got laid off and say, "This is how you should work in." So bringing all these together is very, very unique in itself. On top of that, a passion to serve the city, because you will find a lot of people who have all these things, but they are all very busy in their own lives. They are all very um, consumed in where they are. So, bringing that passion to serve the city with all these things and that I bring to the table. And most importantly, Pleasanton needs an advocate. Pleasanton needs a salesperson to make Pleasanton as a destination for businesses, for families, for tourists. And that's what I bring to the table. And that's why people should choose me.
Okay, very well said. So, lastly, what's your message for the young Indian Americans or any American for that matter who are considering careers in the public service?
Come and volunteer. Come and volunteer first. Come and volunteer with multiple different political candidates in different roles, in different demographics, in different cities. That's the best way you can. If you ever have an aspiration, join a volunteer. And anybody who wants to learn, I'm open for getting more volunteers, right? So there's no way you can learn things just by reading. You have to have your hands in doing and learning, and that can only come as being a volunteer in a if you want to go that. Secondly, there's every city have youth commission, so go and join those youth commission. Go and serve for nonprofits. Go get the feeling of serving. It should not come if you are coming in and, oh, I have political aspiration because I want this power. I would not suggest. I mean, again, this is their own thing, but the feeling that you're here to serve, you're here to listen, is the main thing that they need to inculcate first. And that can come in only when they can start learning to volunteer. They start going being part of these organizations who are running, being part of the uh, political side is like, there are tons of people who are engineers and doctors, but there's only one mayor, there's only a few council members, right? So it requires a very different level of mindset. It requires such a um, I can't even tell you, like, this experience that I'm having as I help people volunteer as their own campaigns and all, but being part of being as an elected running for this elected office is something that I cannot even compare. It's sometimes I feel like running businesses was much easier than what I'm doing right now, because it's a different, it's completely different. I can't, it's very difficult to explain. You're hearing things that you have never imagined. People questioning, people sharing, and good thing is, like, sometimes people come and ask with a curious mindset. Sometimes they come and ask uh, with the intention to down to put your confidence down. And how do you deal with people of all kinds is the best experience that you I'm getting right now. How do you still um, answer questions without losing your mind? That is another big thing, right? Eh, again, I can tell you that this experience is nothing like anything that I've ever done before. And I feel very blessed to be able to. I feel honored if I will be able to get selected or elected. And I think, in my opinion, everyone should go through a mock election practice. The best way to learn.
Very well said. And we congratulate you for your campaign and best of luck for the
Thank you.
campaign. And I really appreciate you getting to talk to us, and thank you so much for giving us your valuable time.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's my honor, and thank you for taking time and sharing the story. And if anybody needs any mentorship for in this field, I think I'll be offering that as well very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So yeah, we'll definitely uh,
Yeah,
our story would definitely reach to many people and who would be really interested in joining in your your campaign.
absolutely. Love to. Thank you. Thank you.